Hello everyone at welcome po sa ating channel. This is Coach Jarrett, mga kababayan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in God's green earth. At welcome po dito sa ating video upload for today, December 3, 2025. At maraming pong salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta sa ating channel. Please don't forget to subscribe dito po sa ating Coach Jarrett Live YouTube channel. Pa-follow na rin po yung ating dalawang social media accounts para sa radio show natin na Pinasabat with Coach Jarrett. Meron po tayo sa YouTube at meron po tayo sa Facebook. And mga kababayan, kung kayo po ay nanonood ng Pinasabat at kayo ay nakatawag, isa sa mga successfully nakatawag sa ating Pinasabat YouTube channel, wag niyong i-check out niyo po yung Pinasabat na YouTube channel natin kasi makikita niyo doon yung inyong mga opinion, mga kababayan. Naka-upload doon yung inyong phone call. So, ayun. Just know mga kababayan na kapag kayo po ay tumawag, it's public. So, yun kaya ayun, yun lang. Okay. So, ayun mga kababayan. So, ngayon po meron po tayong update sa mga nagaganap po dito sa ating bansa. At ang ating pong update medyo hindi maganda. Oo, medyo hindi maganda mga kababayan. Bakit hindi maganda? Kasi it seems, according po sa ating CICC or Center for Investigation and Coordination Center, by the way, sa mga hindi po nakakaalam ng Cybercrime Investigation pala kasi. Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center. Oo. Sa mga hindi po nakakaalam, ito pong CICC ang nagbabantay ng mga cybercrime na nagaganap dito po sa ating bansa. Kasama po dyan yung fake news, illegal gambling, most recently is the illegal gambling. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, may mga nakasuhan na nga sila ng mga endorsers ng illegal gambling dito, illegal online gambling dito sa Pilipinas. Matindi to, yung CICC. At today, mga kababayan, meron silang isiniwalat. Oo. Apparently, mukhang si Saldico at ang iba pa na mga sangkot dito sa flood control scam, nailabas na nila ang kanilang pera bago pa man tawag dito, bago pa man maging frozen ang kanilang accounts. At even kahit frozen na yung kanilang accounts, no, pinipilit nila itong mai-withdraw. Oo. Sa pamamagitan ng cryptocurrency. Oo. Kaya pala nabubuhay sa labas ng Pilipinas 'tong mga mokong na 'to tulad ni Saldico kasi ininalabas nila yung kanilang pera sa pamamagitan ng crypto tapos doon na lang iwi-withdraw sa bansa kung saan sila nakatira. Napakawalang ya talaga, eh. Napakawalang ya talaga mga kababayan. Eto ngayon, tingnan natin yung balita mga kababayan. Ay, wala pa pala. Wait, ilalagay ko yung balita para makita niyo. Wait lang. Asan na? Ayan, yan. O, ayan yung balita, oo. Ayan, Sabi, balita ito ng One News kanina mga kababayan. Ang sabi, flood control loot being laundered to crypto. Ayan na mga kababayan. Kaya pala may kaperahan pa 'tong mga mokong na 'to, nagagamit pa nila yung kanilang pera kasi ang gagawin nila, iko-convert nila sa kanilang online wallets etong kanilang mga ninakaw sa flood control. Tapos ita-transfer sa mga bank account nila abroad or i-e-encash nila sa mga crypto encashment centers kung saan man abroad sila nakatira. Mm. Ibang level ng katigasan ng mukha nitong mga 'to. Ito ay ni-report ni Attorney Renato Paraiso, ang Deputy Executive Director ng Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center. At ito daw mga kababayan, ikinumpirma niya na sila daw ay nakakita ng pagta-transfer ng pera na aabot ng 100 billion pesos. No, sorry, 100 billion pesos or $100 million. Ang tindi, no? 100 million USD, magkano kaya yun in peso? Wait, convert natin mga kababayan, ha? According to December 3 Forex, okay, 100 million pesos to dollars pala. Sorry. Dollars to pesos. Yan. Grabe. 5.8 billion pesos, guys. Oo. Ayan, oh. This is according to today's Forex, ha, mga kababayan. Ano? 5.886 200,000. So, 5,886,200,000 pesos. Grabe! Oo. Eh, sino lang ba yung kumita ng ganitong kalaki? Sino ba ang naka 100 billion sa kanilang lahat? Di ba si Saldico lang naman? Sino ba sa flood control ang nasa labas ng bansa? Di ba si Saldico lang naman? So, ibig sabihin mga kababayan, pilit po na inilalabas ni Saldico yung kanyang nakurakot na pera at iwi-withdraw niya ito kung saang bansa man siya nandun. At ang kanyang ginagamit ay ang cryptocurrency, mga kababayan. Oo. Grabe to si Saldico. Panoorin natin yung balita, mga kababayan. Ito yung balita.
Sir, you earlier quoted to saying na na cryptocurrency na yung ibang perang nakuha dun sa flood control scandal.
Ano bang basihan niyo dyan?
What's the basis? And do we have amounts already? Like how big went into cryptocurrency?
Or at least something indicative.
Yeah, we have something indicative based on intelligence reports po na we're talking to several, we monitored several chatters asking for exorbitant amounts of USDTs pagdating po dito. And something factual po, nakausap na rin at saka naka-recover po si AMLAC ng USDT amounts po based on cooperation with the exchange. So yun po yung mga basis po natin for saying that.
Ano tong exorbitant amounts, Yusek? What are we talking about here?
Kasi usually mga transactions for USDT malaki na ho yung mga 10 million. Ngayon they're asking for a one-time transactions of about 50 to 100 million. So yun nakikita natin sa mga chatters both on the dark web at sa mga ibang mga messaging platforms na ginagamit.
Wait lang, atinan natin ano ba ang USDT. Sa Binance. Ay, illegal to si Binance, ah. Oo. Cryptocurrency nga, mga kababayan. Tingnan natin, mga kababayan, ha. Ito yung website. Ito isa sa mga website ng crypto. Oo. Wait lang, ha. Papakita ako sa inyo. So, sa USDT, mga kababayan, ilan ang hinihingi? 100 million? 100 million. Wait. USDT. Ay, hindi pala. 100. USDT, mga kababayan, is a cryptocurrency. Ayan, oh. Ayan. Sa CoinLore ako tumingin. 100 million USDT. Ayan, 100 million yan. In peso, yan ay equivalent to 5,844,911,913. 5,844,911,913. Oo, ang latest nila is at 58.45 as of today. December 3, 2025, 3:06 PM. Yan. So, meron daw gusto na mag-transfer ng 100 million USDT. At ang equivalent niya ay 5 billion pesos, almost 6 billion pesos. Gustong i-transfer papunta sa isang cold wallet, sa isang crypto wallet. Yun ang sinasabi ng ating executive director, no, or deputy executive director ng CICC.
Ginagamit mga USDT transactions.
Are we talking about pesos or dollars?
So they converted into from pesos to dollars.
So when you say
yung currency niya, so yung one USDT is equal to $1.
So you're looking at 50 to 100 million dollars equivalent.
No, in pesos po yan. So 15 million pesos ay papalit na. So equivalent to $1 million in a single transaction po.
So what you're saying is what's suspicious is you're seeing or you're monitoring one-time transactions asking to transfer 50 to 100 million pesos in the dark web.
Not only the quantity, yung one-time transactions, pero maraming nagtatanong. So we suspect they're divvying their money up, tapos maraming silang representatives at maraming mga nominal people that they're asking to exchange their pesos into USDTs and other forms of cryptocurrencies.
Ang strategy daw, mga kababayan, iinuutos. So yung 5 billion, mga kababayan, paghahati-hatian ng ilang mga tao para ma-transfer nila doon sa cold wallet, sa crypto. Money laundering, guys. Money laundering yan. Yan ang ginagawa ng mga pogo sa Pilipinas noon kapag gusto nilang iikot yung kanilang mga kaperahan, mga kababayan. Mm.
So, paano po yung magiging remedyo nyo doon? Can you stop it? Can you
Well, that's,
monitor? You can monitor, no? Pero can you stop it?
Yun nga yung Ma'am Ami, that's the challenge for government right now because our laws do not allow us to regulate these exchanges, especially they're located abroad po. So that's the challenge. We're relying solely on cooperations kung saan sila nakabase. So apart from cooperations with exchanges, cooperations with these groups, tinitingnan din namin ngayon doon sa technical working group, we're reviewing all our MLATs, yung mga mutual legal assistance treaties natin with other countries. So even if they're located outside the country, we can have a chance of getting back these currencies even if they're tokenized in cryptocurrencies.
Hindi kayang i-reach siya ng ano. Halimbawa, Bangko Sentral has cooperation with central banks in other countries.
So we're looking at we were looking at the DOJ at saka ho yung mga not the BSP but our Department of Foreign Affairs for the treaties na meron ho tayo sa ibang bansa. So yung mga G2G ng Bangko Sentral, I don't think they have yung mga agreements na yan with other countries when it comes to regulation of these cryptocurrencies.
Alam nyo kasi mga kababayan, ang crypto kasi hindi pa siya ganun ka-regulated sa Pilipinas. Wala pa tayong enabling law para i-regulate ang cryptocurrency. Although meron tayo for nasa revised penal code yung yung sa pagka-counterfeit. Tapos yung pag-ship ng counterfeit money. Ayan, nasa revised penal code 'yan. Tapos meron tayo mga general laws on fiscal management. Tapos meron tayong general laws on controlling and regulating paggamit ng ng notes and coins ng Pilipinas. Tsaka general laws on money laundering. Pero wala tayo specific para sa crypto. Itong crypto money laundering is a new crime. Oo, bago lang ho ito. Ito ho isang krimen na nagbunga lamang ng dahil sa teknolohiya. Kailan lang ba to? Kailan lang ba ang crypto? What? A good 5-6 years ago? Very, very recent lang ang crypto, mga kababayan. So wala pa tayong enabling law dyan to regulate ang crypto. So yun yung challenge ngayon ng CICC. Wala pa eh. Anong gagawin natin dyan? Ang pwede lang natin gawin ay kausapin diretso kung sino yung pinagtatransferan.
Di ba may convention tayo? We're part of the International Convention Against Corruption eh. Pwede siyang pumasok dyan, di ba? And then we can demand binding yan to the signatory countries. Pwede natin i-invoke yun to get money na suspected na proceeds of corruption.
Tama, Ma'am Ami, no? I just came back from the ASEAN, I think barely a month ago. Isa yan sa mga pinag-usapan natin when it comes to digitalization and yung cybercrimes natin, recognizing it's borderless, pero nakaasa pa rin tayo sa mga MLATs natin, yung mga mutual legal assistance treaties natin.
What exchanges and what wallets are these hosted on?
So they have several markets. Una-una ho yung I think the most popular right now is yung mga USDTs because kailangan lang nyo yung mga cold wallets na tinatawag. So hindi nyo makikita talaga yung mga exchanges na to. Then we have cryptocurrencies, the usual yung mga Binance, so yung other exchanges po na yan. So in forms of Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies po.
Isn't Binance already banned in the country?
Oh, pero it's banned in the country, but if you have VPN, you can bypass the geo-fencing of several regulators. So it's necessarily banned in this country. But again, if you transact outside of the country, that's a possibility.
So are you saying that these suspected anomalous transactions are being originated in country using VPN transacted on Binance as the platform?
So we have a lot of una-una ang pinaka-prevalent right now, and I think we're seriously looking at USDTs po kasi yun P2P transactions or person-to-person transactions. Again, the peculiarity of this or the nuance of this is kailangan mo lang ng cold wallet eh. So it's may cold wallet ka, papasok mo na sa laptop, transfer na, tapos you don't even see any records of the transactions except for the cold wallets eh. So with other cryptocurrencies yan, mahuhuli natin yan, or at least we'll have a record of them because may mga systems tayo, may mga technology tayo that can track down yung mga cryptocurrency exchanges. So yun yung again the challenge of that technical working right now.
Sir, for the benefit of the dinosaurs here, like katabi ko natulog na eh. Alam nito 3.25 pa eh. Okay, yung cryptocurrency, you're saying that you're seeing a spike in the activity of cryptocurrency exchanges, which would look suspicious given the spike and given the amounts involved and given the circumstances where we're looking for so much money. Are you saying basically na you're afraid that the money that was stolen is being squirreled off abroad using tokens that are harder to track, harder to trace, and therefore harder to recover by regular means?
That's exactly what we're saying, Sir Ed. No? Like I said, hindi lang namin to monitor, hindi lang namin to nakikita. May actual proof na naka-recover tayo ng USDTs, yung AMLAC po natin, because they had an agreement, parang because of goodwill lang ng exchange na pinagbigyan nila tayo na hinold nila yung transaction, hinold nila I don't know if it's a cold wallet or storage, tapos binariko nila sa atin. So again, that's based on cooperation, that's based on an agreement, goodwill, but something to enforce against these exchanges or these platforms, that's I think the particular gap in the law na wala po tayo. And again, even if we have that locally, how do we enforce it if we see these assets doon sa ibang bansa na nakaalis na ng Pilipinas?
Sino sa nila? Sino yung nag-hold ng amount ng transaction na yun?
Si AMLAC po, Anti-Money Laundering
Hindi,
Council.
sabi mo it was based out of goodwill. Who was the platform here? Who was the exchange?
I have, you have to ask the AMLAC kung sino yung
Okay,
nakatransact
because
nila
you're
or
saying walang law.
pag-usapan nila na yung transaction.
Okay, you're saying walang law right now, but hinold lang ng party ng third-party platform out of goodwill to the Philippines.
Can
Attorney,
you give us an idea kung sino tong mga ano? Kasi sabi niyo, personalities. Ano sila? Government politicians, contract.
Ayun na nga. So kung di pa tumulong yung third-party company para mapigilan yung transfer, na-i-transfer na pala ni Saldico yung pera. Outside of the Philippines daw yung transaction So malamang sa malamang. At saka laki ng halaga mga babayan. 50 million to 100 million US dollars. Masyadong malaki yung halaga. Oo. Diyos ko. Grabe, criminal talaga to si Saldico mga kababayan. Hindi ko lang kung bakit ina-idol to ng mga DDEBs. ng mga stupids na DDEBs. Hindi ko na ba't ina-idol kasi criminal talaga mga kababayan. Galawang sindikato.
Private persons, engineers.
From my understanding, Ma'am Ami, this is yung nakuhang transaction from one of the contractors, but you have to confirm that with the AMLAC.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the contractors. Okay. So, sir, confirm yun it's one of those directly involved. Kasi I was wondering about that kanina Parang how were you able to trace na yung finish ng AMLAC had to do with the flood control mess. So, it is one of the contractors.
So,
sino ba ang contractor na na may malaking nakuha? 'Di ba SunWest? Isa sa mga may mga malalaking nakuha yan si SunWest. At sino lang ba ang contractor na nasa abroad na ang beneficial owner ay sa Saldico, 'di ba si SunWest? Hanip. Man level, guys. Oo. Paldong-paldo si Saldico Ayop.
yes, po.
The amount in this particular case was frozen. Is it being 50 million or are we looking at a different amount?
A smaller amount po. And yes, it was frozen po.
And when were these transactions carried out? Roughly when? Anong month?
I think from the update came yesterday, so it was somewhere between from our second TWG meeting up to yesterday. So sometime in between those 2 days po, which was a month ago.
Kailan lang? Recent,
Sorry, which would be itong transactions, the large transactions that you're talking about happened just within the past month? So around November?
No, we monitored these large transactions when it comes to yung CICC monitoring po natin. Nakikita natin po siya, yung search niya came around mga the start of October, the start of October po, nakikita natin yung search. Kaya rin tumataas din. If there's a large demand, tumataas din kasi yung value ng palitan We mentioned that 1 USDT is equal to $1, pero ang palitan USDT hindi equals to sa palitan ng US dollars versus the Philippine peso. To give you illustration, halimbawa, $1 is to 59 pesos halimbawa ngayon, pero yung 1 USDT is equal to 60, 61 pesos. May difference siya because of probably transaction fees.
So all of these happened around October. You did not monitor.
That's what when we monitored it. Pero yung actual freezing ng AMLAC, sa particular account na from that particular USDT account occurred somewhere between the last meeting of the ICI TWG, which is a month ago till now.
Right. So anyways, the transactions happened in October and you did not monitor anything before that? These kinds of large-scale transactions that
October nag-umpisa. Yung October kasi mga kababayan, diyan na nag-unti-unti na naglabas ng freeze orders ang AMLAC Mga around September, October, diyan na nag-umpisa yung freezing ng accounts ng mga involved sa flood control scam. So ibig sabihin, etong contractor na to na most probably si Saldico, pinilit niyang ilabas ang kanyang 100 million US dollars. Oo, sa pamamagitan ng cryptocurrency.
are, in your opinion, anomalous? You didn't monitor anything before October?
We monitored the chatter of the existence of the USDTs and the exchanges, and we monitored the spike by probably start or middle of October.
Because I'm just trying to piece together the timeline. If you're saying these are likely money that came from the flood control scam, I'm just wondering as well why they would only transfer in October. Di dapat before pa, right? Because this investigation has been going on for 3 months.
I wouldn't care to venture ano yung mga nasa isip ko nila basta we monitor trends, we monitor yung mga chatters yun nila.
Yusek, meron ba kayong coordination sa mga other law enforcement, international law enforcement agencies, katulad ng Interpol Cybercrime Committee nila, para dito sa ganitong klaseng mga krimen?
Yan yung talagang gawain namin dito sa ICI TWG ngayon. So we're tapping agencies that have agreements with other law enforcement agencies. For example, in the OJ Office of Cybercrime po, ang mandate po talaga nila sa around sa 1175 is coordination with other law enforcement agencies, particularly on cybercrime. So money laundering is also, digital money laundering is also cybercrime. So we are now trying to reach out to our friends, again, exploring yung mutual legal assistance treaties natin to get cooperation from our allies and friends which we have these agreements with. So sinisimulan na ho natin yan, and again, more than monitoring or getting to know layout of what's happening, if there is really yung dissipation of assets, particularly yung currencies natin papunta sa ibang bansa using cryptocurrency, we have to get a bigger picture based on those conversations now in cooperations with other law enforcement
Ang
agencies.
alam ko kasi, Yusek, mahaba na yung kanilang karanasan sa ganyang klaseng mga operations. Kaya we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Pwede na tayong kumuha sa kanila ng lessons at saka mga techniques on how to trace and even possibly recover these kinds of operations.
Yeah, tama ho kayo, no, Sec Ronald, no. In fact, like I was mentioning, I was part of that ASEAN delegation when it comes to cybercrime po. Marami na ako sa experience, pero kung ano yung na-experience natin dito sa Pilipinas, yun din yung mga challenges nila even in third world countries because nga of the invasion. Kasi nga, again, with the advent of cold wallets, there's no way to monitor the transactions since it's a P2P transaction. So these are the challenges that we, as the community of nations, have to address. That particular challenge na in-exploit mga criminal na yung mga jurisdictional or territorial restrictions natin, yung mga laws natin, hindi natin pwede i-translate and enforceable doon sa mga ibang bansa.
Okay.
Yusek, do you have enough people sa CICC? Kasi medyo challenge
Sa
yung
amin-
hinahanap nyo ngayon, ano?
We are managing, Ma'am Ami, to be honest, we can do better. We can do better with in terms of manpower, in terms of yung mga technology na we can procure. But again, I think we are approaching this from a whole of government approach where in all agencies put together all our resources, all our assets, all our expertise. Para naman again, I think the message was clear yesterday. We hear the Filipino people na kailangan namin madaliin to. Sabi nga namin, our work started yesterday, so kailangan madaliin namin to. That's why the ICI TWG for assets recovery, and apparently nag-expand na rin yung work
Dapat talaga. Buti na lang nandyan si Deputy Executive Director Renato Paraiso. Oo. Kaibigan natin 'yan si DED. Oo, ng CICC. Kaibigan natin 'yan. Buti nga nandyan siya kasi kung wala, mas mahirap maningil, guys. Mas mahihirapan tayong makahuli. Oo, so actually I agree with DED Paraiso na the work started yesterday. And ngayon, we're already playing catch up. Naghahabol tayo ngayon eh. So, buti na nga lang, again mga kababayan, buti na lang pumayag si third party na kung sino man yung third party company na nagbalik ng pera na gustong ilabas ng bansa. Buti na lang, nahuli. Kaso hindi natin alam kung saan cold wallet yun. So siguro hindi dinivulge or baka confidential pa for now. Kasi gagamitin na lang ebidensya sa korte. So, pero for sure mga kababayan, ulitin ko lang, sino lang ba ang involved sa flood control scam na pumaldo ng sobra-sobra? Di ba si SunWest? Tapos siya lang din naman, si Saldico lang din naman, yung beneficial owner ng SunWest, ang nasa abroad. So, it makes sense na si Saldico yung gustong mag-launder ng pera papunta sa Portugal o sa Spain kung nasaan man siya.
namin from assets recovery lang, naging assets recovery and case build-up. So every Tuesday mag-meet kami, pero every day may nag-assign na kami na tao to mag-coordinate with each other, and then we're developing this dashboard and system kung saan makakapag-request kami ng documents online, and then in real time ipasa sa mga agencies to hasten up the process ng mga pagsasabit ng documents din.
Okay, thank you so much for talking to us today. We're going to have to leave that there. We'll check back in with you down the road for some updates. CICC Deputy Executive Director Yusek Aboy Paraiso.
Salamat, Yusek.
Yun, mga kabayan. Grabe, no? Pag criminal ka talaga, ganun ka mag-isip eh. O, pag criminal ka talaga, pipilitin mo talagang mabawi lahat ng... Babalikan mo talaga yung scene of the crime eh. And right now, the scene of the crime is where the money is. At binabalik-balikan ngayon ni Saldico yan. Kasi kailangan niya ng pera abroad, guys. Mahirap po kumita abroad. Mahal ho ang kanyang lifestyle abroad. Oo. Imagine, ita-transfer niya $100 million. Diba? Mga kababayan, pagpanalangin na lang natin ang kaluluwa ni Saldico. Dahil lahat ng mga namatay sa flood control, lahat ng mga naabala, negosyong nasira, ay kasalanan ng mga involved diyan sa sa flood control scam. At dapat mahuli silang lahat, mapanagot, mabawi ang kanilang mga kinurakot. So mga kababayan, hanggang dito lang po muna tayo sa video na ito. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you later in our live stream, guys. Bye everyone. See you. Bye.
Ganun. Natin gawing tanga mga Pilipino. Mas maganda kasi nasa lugar mo ng tama kaysa yung pinipilit mo yung pagkakamali. Are they willing to go that far? Hindi nakakalimutan ng Pilipino yan hanggat di nasasagot. Sino ngayon nagsasabi ng totoo?